Ojah is located about 50 kilometers from Igara, the Akoko Edo local government headquarters. Ojah village, a land rich in both history and culture, has inhabitants who are peaceful, homely and accommodating. Chief Lawrence Obayemi, the Okongbe of Ojah, sheds light on the history and culture of the Ojah people.
We migrated from Benin very long ago. The man who brought us here, he was a hunter called Ogbominya. When he came on hunting, initially we settled at the uphill. That is the hill behind us here. That was where we settled, say, over 600 years back. Because of how things are changing to civilization, there no road, the communication with other communities was almost zero.
While acknowledging the diligence of the average Ojah man, it should be noted that the star attraction of the Ojah people, which showcases their uniqueness, lies in the handiwork of the women folk. The women who remain at home do not stay idle, but keep themselves busy by transforming God's natural gift to Ojah, a clay saw, into finished products of different shapes and sizes. The major component of a clay saw is clay, which is a mineral substance made up of small crystals of silica and aluminium and used in the production of ceramic wares.
Yes, you go there to pick clay and you form it into product like this, and at the end of the day it is able to do the work which other foreign products are doing. Therefore, if we are to able to harness all these things, we should be able to sell, and it will even stand in place of the oil sector. We have clay everywhere. Coming to Edo North, you see clay almost everywhere. We have the primary clay, we have the secondary clay, and of course even the clay we have here alone, if we process them, sir, if we process them, you discover that you can even process them as a raw kaolin and you sell, and the country will be able to make money from it. It is used to produce drugs, it is used to produce cream, it is used to produce emulsion paint. There are so many, only that the government are shying away from it. Clay itself is a wealth for the country.
Transforming raw materials into finished goods in various fields of production passes through different stages, and the production of ceramic wares from clay is not an exemption to the rule. From the mining of the clay to the molding stage and to the stage of burning, there are various steps which must be followed in a particular order. The production of ceramic wares from clay in Ojah can be traced to the earliest known history of the community. It has been an integral part of the community for hundreds of years, as the clay soil was first discovered by the forefathers from Ojah, who proceeded to explore the various uses. Despite the proximity of Ojah to the several communities around her, such clay works are exclusive to Ojah, and this the people find to be no coincidence.
This is the only community that you can easily see the pots like this, different types. Like the neighboring village, they don't understand it because they were not brought up with it. Like our own now, as your mother is doing it, you'll be looking at it, you will just learn it. There's no period for training. It's inborn in us.
The production of various finished goods from clay is an art reserved for the women folk alone. While the men busy themselves at the farm, the women complement their husbands' efforts with the proceeds from their clay works. The knowledge and artistry of the job is passed on from generation to generation as mothers educate their daughters in the craft.
Like me now, I can mold this one now for the fact that I'm a man, because I do stay with my mother. I can mold, but it's mainly for women. Women, they always staying at home. Men, they don't stay at home. The men will occupy the farm work. Then this one you cannot do in outside home. That is why women, they are always at home. That they use this one to engage themselves at home.
Pottery works in Ojah has become a monument, and even young kids and students now visit the village just to catch a glimpse of the creativity of these women. The very first stage in the processing of clay involves the mining of clay from the pit hole. The women proceed to the pit hole with their digging materials, which consists of a hoe and basket. When the baskets are filled, they then transfer the dug out clay to their mini factory, where the clay is soaked for 3 to 5 days. Soaking for such extended period softens the clay and makes it easier to process. When the clay is soaked, it is then taken for pounding. The clay is pounded to make it smooth so it can coagulate. To speed up the work, 2 or more persons can be involved in pounding the clay. The joy of the women in carrying out this task is evident in their singing.
The purpose why we are pounding this thing to mix it, to make it smooth. It's just like the way we are pounding yams, to make it smooth, so that the clay can come together. They come together. It is not a rule that only 2 persons must be pounding it. 3 persons can pound it, 4 persons can pound it, even single person can pound it. Depends on the situation.
After pounding, the women can then take the clay to their different locations for molding. It is at this stage of molding that the artistry and creativity of the women is showcased. Here, shapes of different sizes are carved out from the clay. Pots of different sizes, human and animal images, cups, and several other images are molded depending on the desire and choice of the molder. Time taken in the molding stage is dependent on the image being created and ranges from 30 minutes to 1 hour. In the molding process, there is continuous movement by the women to ensure that every single spot is covered and the tip of the finger is used to give diverse shapes. On completion, the molded object is left to dry for 2 to 3 days. On the second or third day, the thickness of the clay is then scraped out to reduce the weight. Then the potter proceeds to smoothing it. When smooth, the potter proceeds to the designing stage. Several instruments can be used in designing, such as baked maize cob, comb, and banana peels. At the final stage of production, the molded image is left to dry for a lengthy period of a month and then taken for burning. Kerosene, dry grasses, and firewood are all used in the burning stage. There is an apparent color change after the burning, which indicates that the image is ready for the market. Some of the molded images are as well being utilized as musical instruments. The size of the pot depends on its intended usage.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
They requested for it. The requested for it is for drying of meat or anything watery in the house. So you put it by the stove side or where they cook with firewood. So it will anything water there will be moved out. So it becomes strong again for next 3 or 4 days use.
Experts say that meals prepared with such native pots are much more well preserved, while the water pot is a refrigerator in its own right.
I have been to a party where people serve rice with natural leaf. And therefore, I've been to a party where people serve pepper soup with this clay pot. In fact, it preserves it. The what you get from it is so natural, and when you look at it, it can be used to store water. You can be used to store water, and of course, you now discover that the economic importance is that everybody want to have it. It's only that the center is almost going into extinction because people are not seeing the work, because it's like ceramics. If you produce it, people use it to eat, to store water naturally. You see that people use them as a flower pot. People were encouraged, instead of using the made flower planter, you could use it. You see the beauty of natural environment, which have our cultural base.
The prices of these various items all differ. The pot, depending on the size, has a price ranging from 2,000 to 3,000 naira.
Ono abe enyuge likondo na dema yamme okina kpo ni wazobia ono iwazobia itesa enye ono okina akpo nu gbudu 300 ono okini 100 naira ono kini ketru again adi anwam ekpesa cup 100 naira cup enye na dem ayamme for my hair sweet for my van mess for my daddy. No con no. Okay, the pe van budu. I'll get there. 15 naira. Apple con no. 15 naira. 200. Iroro. I'm not on a day ke aruso me again. It's train con no. 150. It was obiesa.
You can sell it in group like this. Depends on the price. Somebody can, maybe this one now, maybe they can give you the price like 30 to 40,000 naira. And this is where our women normally train their children from. That is why, like most of our children now in school, some are in high institution, some are in other places. Their mother normally sponsor them here economically.
Buyers and customers who patronize these women come from far and near, from their nearby neighbors in Ososo, to the Igbo man from the southeast, and even to the white men.
As I dey pass, I see this purse. So, yeah, in our old people, we are the people who dey buy pot from Ojah people. We dey use them even to cook soup or yam. Oyibo, this is the pot old people dey use before. Before we dey use Oyibo own. This pot, as you see it, if you take and cook or soup, if you put am there, even 1 hour, the soup will never cool down. If it is pot, even 5 minutes, it don't cool.
The Ojah women have achieved so much without formal knowledge and modern machinery. But imagine how much productivity will improve when they have better exposure and modern machineries at their disposal.
We should have ceramic researcher of Nigeria that will be regulating all these things so that all these people can be helped. Because if you see what they are lacking there, basically is exposure. They need to be exposed. A lot of people are having interest to have their works. Because if you go to Ushafa, they are exposed. People come from a place as far as Asia and America to get their products. But if we are able to package them very well and expose them, you see that people will be complaining that we are overusing the clay in a donut. Historically, if I'm to take my stand as somebody who is a professional, I would say yes. Ojah people there, they've been able to do so well in the area of pottery. Taking the clay, nobody came to teach them, form into pots, which we can use as functional items, and of course, take it and subject it to heat treatment, which is firing, and it is usable. You can see that they are scientists, they are artists, they are geologists, and of course, I would say they are technologists.
A visit to the School of Arts and Design of Auchi Polytechnic Auchi reveals that science and technological advancement has given a massive boost to pottery works.
Here is a formal education setting, which most of the things we do now, they are more refined. We have more technology, we are more exposed to the pottery, the throwing way. Like here, we have a lot of things that we do that ordinarily the woman out there does not do. Like if you talk to this pottery, the pottery in the village or the local women, they use grass open firing. But here we use the kiln to fire, which is more reliable and more effective. We also here we have a idea of the material, but they are sourcing it locally and they are using it so locally. So on a nutshell, we have different, but the only thing we have in common is that we are both pottery. We use the same material, but arriving at different finishing point. But here, we will proceed by glazing. In the ceramics, the glaze, which will have a more refined work. Also, here too, in sculpture, we also have a final end. That we, I said earlier, we don't end our work in clay and leave it there. We either fire to finish or take a mold of it and now reproduce in another different medium like fiberglass, cement, what, plastic.
Assuming you grind this into powder and you are able to form it like this, there won't be problem. But we went extra step to take a clay from Afo in a donut to be able to see the chemical analysis, which is natural to, but it has plasticity. A mix of it gave this work. And you now discover that it can be applicable to the pottery in Ojah. When you have your broken pot, you recycle, you add another one to it. If you are able to carry out the chemical analysis, in this case, the government need to empower us to have a place very close in terms of proximity to carry out this elemental analysis to be able to use and reuse our clay after it has been used before, for us to be making production continuously. You can see that clay, again, is a product that it is very friendly. Our people here, they take it as eco, those ones that are pregnant. You now discover that it is not really harmful, especially the one they call kaolin, the one that is white. They call kaolin. It is very pure. You can use it to produce. And even when I went into recycling, like I said before, you discover that it is just this, just like we have metal. Only that metal you melt and you form into shape. But this one, you grind into powder, and from there, you are able to bring in another plastic material, such as ball clay, so that at the end of the day, you can use it to produce ceramic products.
Clay is a material that is not permanent. It's not permanent material. But when you put it to, subject it to heat, like the pottery, you see, like the pottery, they subject it to heat, temperature, a particular degrees temperature that will burn the clay. By so doing, the clay can be now hardened. No water can penetrate the clay also. The same way, if you want to retain this one without firing it or taking a mold of it, it's just a mere wasting of time. When it comes in contact with water, or it can be destroyed anytime, any day.
The women of Ojah have built a reputation for themselves in the art of pottery. So the next time you are in Edo State, ensure you visit Ojah and purchase a vessel and have a first-hand experience of the creativity and industry of the Ojah woman.